see everybody. Welcome to the speaker co-working session sponsored by SpeakerHub. I'm Ron Story. I am the head of membership and speaker booking at SpeakerHub. I'm joined today with Angela Lewis and a bunch of our cool clients. As you all know, we are only doing one speaker co-working. It's now from at 12 noon Eastern time every day. We got rid of the 3 o'clock and the 7 o'clock. So we're going to focus on this one and making this one the best option for all of our clients and speakers from around the world. Yeah, good to see everybody. I want to start off to see if anybody got any wins. I saw Bonnie join the call yesterday at 7 o'clock, but wasn't nobody there. I got a notification. Bonnie is in your Zoom room. I'm like, I'm not at home. So this doesn't work. You know? Any wins, any new things to celebrate today as we get started?
Yeah, we just got another podcast interview scheduled.
It's incredible. And how's the switch over to construction? Is that working a lot better?
As far as pitching construction,
Mhm.
we're not pitching construction, we're pitching her programs.
Okay. No, I was just saying, like, as far as reaching out to construction-based podcasts, or is she pretty much focusing on leadership-based podcasts?
Leadership and construction, we're pretty much covering all the bases of all the things that she does. So that way, yeah, we've been working on our follow-ups. I sent out 50 this morning, and I know Janice is working on some more now. But yeah,
That's cool.
but it does help that we changed that email address. We're not getting as many blocked emails now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, one of the biggest things that we talk about a lot is, trying to simplify things, right? Like the simpler we can make it, the better off we usually are because it removes a lot of the things that can go wrong and you can measure a lot better, right? Even with I think you all have sent enough pitches now to where you probably could work on a template and not use the AI anymore. And I think maybe tomorrow the template variables come out so that you can just introduce a variable and it will automatically customize the template. So you can put, hey, first name, and then I saw you were blah, blah, blah. And then you can put my one liner, whatever, like you can put these variables in that'll customize the template once you find a template that works for you. Does that make sense? So I think that's going to be a really cool feature for everyone to kind of let you kind of personalize it a little bit more. Again, the AI was there to um, be a crutch at the beginning, but it wasn't meant to replace your legs, right? So, Bonnie, what's up?
Oh, that's actually funny. Yeah, so I'm still using the crutch a little bit there, and I change, writing individually and change them as I need to. And then Bart was kind enough to show me. I need to like really look at things directly to hold on to it. Showed me how he organized his templates and how he uses them, and that was really helpful. So now hearing you say that we'll have those places for that little change that we can add in more efficiently.
Yep.
That sounds really great. Um, Question came up listening to Michelle about changing an email address. I'm wondering, I haven't sent as many pitches as some folks, but I feel like I've sent quite a few and only had a couple of responses. And I'm wondering if there might be any attitude about Gmail addresses instead of like it coming from my email at my website address. Is that what you were talking about, Michelle, or is there something else there about changing email addresses?
Yep. Which email are you using, Bonnie?
Oh, sorry.
Which email address are you using?
Well, then when the pitches get sent, they're coming from the Gmail
Yeah.
that
They switched to Gmail and got better results. They were using their personal domain before, and just going to a generic Gmail helped them to perform better.
You mean just speak to Michelle? Okay. So Michelle went from theirs to the generic Gmail and was better that way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that I'm trying to troubleshoot what might be holding me back a little bit, or maybe my expectation about the percentages of responses is off.
Well, I mean, I
Um,
think a couple of things. The sometimes we send too much. We say too much in the emails. So that's the first part because we're overselling in the email. Instead of pitching for a response, we're pitching to have them. I want them to make a binary decision. I don't want them to make a qualitative decision, right? So, Meg, good to see you, Meg Gibson. I'm trying to see who else is new. Mac, someone was in the room called Mac. They asked the question and they left, but I don't know who they
That's
are.
Darren. That's Darren.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I see him over there. I'm not used to him being called back. Um, so the binary decision is, are you looking for guests? Yes or no, right? The qualitative decision is, hey, I hope you're looking for a guest. Let me tell you how cool I am. Well, I don't have time to decide that right now. So I just don't reply, right? But if I can reply back, yes, tell me what you want to talk about. And then now they've already made a binary decision and replied back to me versus the other thing. So let me show you this, what I mean. And again, we try to show our work because by
well,
showing the
yeah,
work, it removes the maybes or, you know. So let me give you a simple
right.
version of this.
And while you're looking that up, I never extend what AI gives me. I often shorten it because it is a little too blah blah, and I change things for a little to make them a little more focused. But I understand that people have 3 seconds to look at what you send, and they don't want to be reading a whole lot of hoo ha.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Liliana sends for me.
Okay. Well, thanks. That's better.
I found such and such. Are you interested in guests? If so, what's the next steps? What do I do? They have no freaking clue. Either you looking for guests or not. Hey, are you single? That's all I want to ask. If she ain't single, don't matter how cool I am.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I get that.
Found this, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Okay, I'll make him even shorter then.
Found this. Thanks for reaching out. If you're interested in being a guest, complete the form. Cool. I'll go do that. I found
Okay.
this, blah, blah, blah. Always looking for guests. Please complete the application and we'll review it and get back to you. I'm okay with that. Right?
Yeah.
Grateful to
Yeah.
receive your message. Would love to learn about your brand and who you are. How do you identify? What business are you navigating? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever they want to know. Cool. But all I'm saying is we want them to make a binary decision, not
Yes.
a
A yes or no.
qualitative, am I good enough decision. Does that make
I,
sense?
yeah, I
So
totally understand that. That makes sense.
cool.
And I will say I'm starting to really play in the veterinary space, and um, one of the veterinary publications from veterinary nursing got back to me, and I applied with them too. So that's just fun, like kind of looking for those maybe two, like you said, focus on like don't be all over the place.
Yeah.
Focus all the things in kind of one direction. And I'm maybe doing two, and I think that's feeling good right now. So thanks
No,
for
that's
that.
super, super cool. Dr. Meg Gibson, you want to introduce yourself to us?
Sure, no problem. Any parameters of the introduction?
Under 45 minutes. And no, just basically tell people what you do, what you speak about, and that's pretty much it.
Okay,
60
so
seconds is good.
Meg Gibson from Charlotte, North Carolina, by way of Miami, Florida, and by way of the Bahamas. I've been in Charlotte now for 26 years. Monday, March 31st, I will retire after 38 years in local, state government, and higher education. I started in my training aspect of my job back in the late 80s. And ever since then, I caught the bug for it and I enjoy training. Um, I have transitioned through life doing a lot of things. And the most important thing that I really enjoy doing is organization development, working with small businesses and organization, providing them with transformative strategies to work with their companies. And I focus on personal branding, helping my clients understand who they are, not from the outer appearance of how they dress, which is what most people look at, but I work on the inside, how they think.
No, it's incredible. That's super duper cool. Well, welcome to Speaker Hub. I'm Ron Story. I'm the head of bottle washing here. I make sure everybody's glasses are clean and their forks are shined. Angela does all the other work, but no, we help speakers to get booked on more stages, whether it's podcasts, speaking gigs, or press coverage in order to grow their business. Most speakers that we know, we believe that they get paid to speak. But when we look deeper into their businesses, we found that they speak to get paid, right? So, Seven Habits, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Tony Robbins. We thought, well, man, they pay him a lot to speak, but no, he makes so much more speaking, selling his products and services. So that's really what we focus on here at Speaker Hub. So welcome aboard, Dr. Meg.
Thank you so
Before I
much.
say anything else, high freaking five on retiring. Holy smokes. Most of us don't live to retirement, not to mention being able to get there and you know, have the wherewithal to make a transition to continue doing something afterwards. What are you going to do? What are you transitioning to after you retire? It seems like, I mean, if I was retiring on Monday, I wouldn't be on this call because I'm done. I'm out.
I am retiring from working for people, and I'm going to go full-fledged into my own business, True Choices Consulting.
Okay,
And I've done it on a passive level. And now I'm going to devote all my time, talents, and energy towards that.
cool. You about to have the worst bosses ever, your customers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just they about to be the most demanding bosses you ever met in your life.
I can handle them.
I'm just kidding with you. This is about to be incredible. I got 64,000 of them, so I totally get it. So, no, congratulations on retirement. High five on financial independence. And then the second thing on taking the leap to go forward and bet on yourself. It's a really big deal. So, everyone here has done that. Everyone here has their own thing. We bet on ourselves. So, I'm a firm believer all you need is one example. If
Mhm.
somebody else has done it, you can definitely do it, you know. So, any questions about anything, any celebrations before I get into my topic for the day? Nope. Cool. Perfect. 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 So, I know over the last few weeks we've talked a lot about product and, um, you know, what are you going to be developing? What are you going to be selling? Who are you going to be selling it to? Has anybody done any of the surveys that we talked about last week? Nope. Is there a reason why not? On Monday, we talked about how you can get 25 leads over the weekend if you worked on the survey. Did anybody even complete the survey for themselves?
Started
Nope.
modifying
no
it. I haven't completed it.
Okay. What were you going to say, Jasmine?
No excuses, but I was preparing for a funeral, which happened yesterday. So I
Oh,
was out for the weekend.
that's okay. No
No
excuses.
excuses.
Followed by an excuse.
No excuses. You know what my tagline is, eh? In health and wellness. No excuses, just results.
No, I got it. I got it. So here's the reason why I bring that up, right? Because the more comfortable we can get with lead generation, it's the most important part of your business. If you don't have leads to sell to, you don't have an opportunity to grow the business. And if we can't confidently generate leads, you know, I learned really fast from one of my friends named John and Greg and Marvin that when I was in the financial advisory business, I thought I was selling investments. But in reality, I was in the prospecting business. Because no matter how good of a financial advisor I was, if I didn't have anybody to advise, I was just at home twiddling my thumbs, doing this, hoping, right? So I'm going to focus a lot on prospecting today because It's the only way to stay in business. So we talked about how you can generate referrals from that perspective. But let's say you met with someone. Let's say you went to your current clients. How would you generate referrals from your current clients? Right? I can't see the chat bot, Angela. So if you want to tell me what's being said, how would you generate referrals from your current clients
Sure,
right now?
Ron, Dr. Gibson asked, is there a link to the survey?
Yes, yes, yes. I'll give you a link to the survey. And I'll walk you through what we were attempting to do with
Oh, Bonnie asked, do you feel like reviewing the survey stuff? She missed
Yep.
it last week.
Yep, yep, yep. So let me bring you over here. So let's go to it. So the gist of how many of y'all have unlimited leads? Anybody got unlimited? Got too many? Right? Okay, I got a question. How many sales calls are you all doing on a weekly basis for not for the speaking, just for your business? Or is anybody doing sales calls for their business? Right? Okay. How many are you doing per week, Jasmine?
I go on a day from way in real estate is by doing 10 calls, but 5 of those calls has to be a touch. So it's not just, so it's 10 every day, but
Well, I mean,
5
when I
has to
say
be
a sales call, I'm talking about a meeting where you talk to the person, like a
yeah,
meeting.
5 have to be talking to the person.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
cool. No, it makes sense. Just want to make sure because I know
Yeah.
different words get caught up in different ways.
Called
Darren,
touch when you're speaking to the
AJ, you're
person.
doing 15 a week, which is good. No, that's good, right? 15 a week is good. That's solid, right? Now, why is that important? Because that means that AJ had 15 opportunities to offer his services, right? What do you charge for what you do, AJ? I think you muted. Oh, 3,500. Okay. Right. So he's had 15 opportunities last week to offer a $3,500 service. Right. Now, why is that important? Because if he knows that he had 15 opportunities, let's say he closes 2 of them, he knows that for every 8 people that he meets with, he's going to make a sale. Does that make sense? But if you don't know how many people you need to meet with in order to make a sale, you may meet with a few people. You may meet with 5 people and be like, man, I met with 5 people. I didn't sell anything. Yeah, because your number is 8. It's not 5. Do you see what I mean? Because you didn't do enough there. If the goal is to get more leads, how do we track what we're doing with those leads? And how do we generate enough so that no matter what our sales skills are, we can close at that level? So, AJ, is this a new offer that you're providing? Is this something new that you've just started selling in the last 6 months?
In the last 6 months, yes.
Okay, right. So do you believe he will get better? If he's just now starting to sell it, even 6 months in, do you think he'll get better in the next 6 months? Yeah,
100%.
the more you keep offering it. How long have you been doing it? What, 2 months? How long, you know?
Yeah, about 2 months.
Yeah. So by June, he should have it dialed in. So if he's closing 1 out of 10 now, and I'm making these up, by June, he should be at 1 out of 5. Why? Because he'll stop meeting with the people that he'll smell the losers before they even get on the phone. He'll be able to weed them out. So he's only talking to qualified people. Does that make sense? How many of you all have a product that everybody can use?
In business.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Let me tell you why you don't have a product everybody can use. Everybody don't want to use you. That's the first qualification. You got to have something that I don't know any product that everybody wants to use. I thought everybody would need deodorant. Psh, there are people who say, I don't wear deodorant. I'm serious. I'm anti-deodorant, right? I thought, there were people who would need to drink water. There's people saying, I don't drink water. I only drink juice. It got water in it. And I'm like, I thought there were certain things that everybody would need, but there aren't. Does that make sense? So everybody can't use your product because it doesn't fit them, right? So understanding that you can't help everybody limits us to stop trying to make these broad products that everybody will want, and then nobody ends up wanting because it's not specifically for a particular person. So why do I bring this up? Because I think a lot of times we say, well, I'm working on this thing and we're going to change this. Well, how many people you talk to about that? Well, I mean, I just been working on it in private. Well, no. Go talk to the people and let them tell you that this is a stupid idea. Don't make an assumption about it because you'll end up always in the lab and never collecting cash. So as AJ gets better, he may be closing 1 out of 10 now. Eventually, he's going to find out who his clients are. I'll give you my example. I used to do outbound sales for software companies. And I used to sell to them and do outbound sales. But then what I realized was, wait a minute, all they're going to do is take my stuff and hire employees to replace me. So I don't want to sell to folks that's just going to steal my stuff and replace me in 3 months after I solve the problem. So I said, well, who is somebody that I can generate leads for that will never replace me because they don't know how to train the person to do what I do? Coaches. So we went after coaches. And I'm like, okay, let me just reach out to a bunch of coaches, basketball coaches, business coaches, financial coaches, CFOs, fractionals, all these different people. I want to see who comes back. The people that I worked best with were business coaches. And then I realized, oh, it's business coaches that sell something that costs at least $2,000 a month or $10,000 overall. And then I said, okay, I want to work with those guys who sell this $2,000 thing, but I need them to have an employee, because if they have an employee, they're more committed than I'm just trying it out for a month. Nobody hires an employee for 2 weeks. You don't try out an employee, you hire them. You know, they made a decision to come over to your company. They left another job. You ain't firing them after 2 weeks. So I wanted people that were used to making commitments. And then I said, okay, I want business coaches that are doing $2,000 that have at least one employee that has tried to do outbound on their own before. Because if they didn't try to do lead generation on their own before, they weren't going to respect the work I was doing. Right? And then I wanted the people who did business coaches that were selling something for $2,000 that had one employee that was doing outbound on their own before, that had sold to cold leads. Because if they've only worked with referrals, they were going to think the closing rate for the leads I was generating were going to be equal to the referrals who were already pre-sold before they got to them. Do you see how on the outside, well, Ron helps coaches. That's what y'all see on my website. But in reality, I don't. I help a very small segment of coaches. Is that making sense, Ms. Gibson? Bonnie, you see how like on the outside, we hear this broad thing, but on the inside, we're looking for this sliver that if I meet with 10 of them, 8 of them signing up. Right? So once you figure that out, that's called a niche target audience. Most of the time when people talk about having a niche, they're just picking an industry. But there's so many micro segments inside of that industry. Does that make sense? So why do we 1 out of 20 right now? Yeah, you'll get way better than that. I got confidence in you, right? But why do we talk about that? Why do we do the survey? The reason that we do the survey is because the person tells you the pain that they're experiencing right now. So, Dr. Gibson, I'm not picking on you. I just want to use you because you're new here. Do you have a broken left leg?
I do not.
Okay. Right? You see how that was a binary answer? Right? Do you have left pinky fingernail arthritis?
I do not.
Okay. Are you sure?
If you had asked for another finger, I could tell you yes, but not that finger.
Okay. Okay, cool. Right? Now, why is that important? certain pains are binary. If I got a broken leg, I don't care if you went to college. I don't care if you even a doctor. Help me to make this leg stop hurting. Y'all remember Major Payne and the dude got shot? And he said, "Oh, I got shot in my leg." He said, "You want me to make that pain go away?" This was Damon Wayans. He said, "Give me your hand." And he took his hand and he broke his finger over to the side. And he said, "Oh, my hand, my hand." He said, "It works every time." that's kind of how it is. We want to work with people that have broken legs, right? Where it's a confessed pain. Now, let me tell you a problem with leadership training. And this is nothing against my leadership people. But the problem with leadership training is that you have to get the leader to confess that they're a poor leader. That's hard. How you gonna tell me? I done read. Going over there. Going over there. Go and sit over there. I ain't about to fight with you, right? The problem with selling accounting is you got to get the person to confess with you they ain't done their taxes to a stranger, that they ain't done books in 5 years. Do you see what I mean? So those are usually trusted relationships with the person that they trust, not a person that they scream, "My leg, help me. Somebody help me." But people scream all the time, "Man, I need to grow my business." They will tell a stranger, "Man, we trying to grow. If you know somebody who need what I got, tell them." They put it on Facebook. "If you looking for this, if you can you help me? I'm looking for a salesperson. I'll give you half the money." They scream out loud about certain pains, but other pains they don't. So you got to build a relationship with them in order for them to trust you confessing. Does that make sense? I'll give you a great example. The one example I used with someone was, if you had a toothache, right? How long would you search online investigating dentists before you went to the dentist? I lost this tooth is fake. Got elbowed in the mouth. Didn't even go to the dentist. It hurt so bad I went to the ER. I didn't care what they sent me to. They put an acrylic thing look like a fingernail in my mouth to stop this thing from hurting 20 years ago, right? I looked like a rabbit for 2 days, but I didn't care. It wasn't hurting no more. But if I was going looking for veneers, I would search 800 different dentists because I ain't in pain. And I got all this time to investigate to make sure. It's a lot of the things that we sell are veneers. They're not root canals. Is this making sense with the analogy? Because if you don't get this part, you'll never do the survey. And the survey gets away from the veneers and lets you sell the root canal. Does that make sense? Or the filling, I should say, right? So let me share with you what we do with this.
Are you saying that the survey is pointing out their pain? Is that what you're saying?
It's not pointing it out. It's getting them to tell you what they're willing to pay to make go away. I'll give you a great example. Bart, what's one, not Bart, Kevin, what's one thing in your business right now you would pay to make go away?
I'm tempted to pay AI to finish my book.
Okay.
Make it go away.
So he's willing to pay a ghostwriter, right? Okay. And when do you want the book to be finished?
ASAP. I've been working on it for 2 years.
That ain't on the clock. That ain't in the calendar.
Okay. By the end of next month.
By the end of next month, right?
Yes.
What's the consequences if you don't do that?
I will be where I'm at now, which is low in confidence and not pitching enough and not doing enough because I don't have the book to back me up.
Okay. How long have you been in that situation? Feeling that way?
How long have we known each other? A long time.
So
About at least a year.
What will change? And this is just an example. He's lying. He's not even, this is fictional, guys. So let me make sure. Everybody on YouTube, everything he's saying is fictional. Okay. Let me just set that disclaimer before somebody's lawyer calls.
Yeah, because it's not quite that long.
Okay. Well, let's just say he's had this behavior for a while. If I don't understand the consequences of him changing that behavior, he'll never change it. So what's the consequences? He told me. What's different now that you have set this deadline? Because you could have set the deadline beforehand. What's so important about this deadline of April 15th?
Because I
Tax day.
really, I want money. I want to start making money. I want to start bringing in cash.
Okay. And once you start selling the book, how much money do you think you'll be generating per month from the book and the courses and other things?
I don't think I would make as much from the book, but I think I would make a lot more from courses and appearances than from the book itself. Although I do think I should make some from the book.
Okay, but what's the number?
I don't know, $2,000 a month
Okay. Are you gun to
to
the head
start.
confident?
What's that?
Are you gun to the head confident in your plan to get the 2,000 a month?
Yeah, 2,000 a month, I believe, is a low figure. I figure that's a starting figure.
But are you willing to, are you gun to the head? If somebody put a gun to your head and said, in 30 days after you finish that book on April 15th, if you don't have $2,000 in sales by May 15th,
Oh, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen because I'm gonna feel the desperation. I'll start talking for free and selling the books at whatever price is necessary to get to that $2,000 mark.
okay, right? So let me tell you why I had to get them to anchor a number, guys. Because if they haven't quantified the pain, your price will always be too high. Right? AJ sells something for 3,500 bucks. And I'm like, AJ, I think I can help you get that down from 1 out of 20 to 1 out of 5. Right? And AJ's like, cool, how? Now, what can I do with that number? I know that 1 out of 5, 4X is his revenue. Not just this month, but forever. So if I say, AJ, you give me, I'm going to help you to get that down to 1 out of 5, but I want 2 of the next 3 sales that you make. So I want the 7 grand as I help you to make it. But you'll be able to use what I'm going to show you going forward. I've already established the value of what I offer, right? And juxtapose it against what he would potentially make down the road. Cost and value are not the same things. Cost, value, and price are different things. Does that make sense? The cost of making these AirPods are probably $4. The price of making these AirPods, the price of buying these AirPods are $100. The value of me having the AirPods and not getting this wire caught up on the door every time I walk out of my office is $3,000 because I keep getting my head janked like that, right? You see what I mean? So cost, price, and value are different things, right? But if we can't establish something between the value that we provide to someone and the cost that they're going to pay us or the price they're going to pay us, they're never going to buy it. Does that make sense? So when you ask the questions, what you're trying to do is to get them to tell you the problem that they're willing to pay for. I went on a podcast years ago called the Non-Technical Founder thing with a guy named Chris, Ron Story Jr. Podcast with Chris. Can't think of, let's see, can't think of the name of it. It was with Chris, Non-Technical, see if I can find it, founder. This is from years ago. It was a guy, Chasing Product. This is February 10th, 2015. And this is a Ron Story historical quote. People bitch about a lot of stuff they ain't willing to pay for. Y'all taking advice from people that ain't willing to pay you shit. Okay, I'm just being real with you. Pardon my French, but this is the spirit in which that was written 15 years ago or 10 years ago. we hear a lot of complaints. Most of our complaints about SpeakerHub come from people that don't pay us. I look at the support, I'm like, this ain't even a customer of ours. They got a free profile, they giving us advice. Shut up. Like, we don't care. We care about the people who pay us. Right? So a lot of us are getting advice about our products and services from people that will never pay us. And I got to add this context before we get into the survey, because if you use the survey properly, you will only get advice from people that are willing to pay you. Or you don't implement the thing, or you don't provide the service. Is this fair? Right? So, how many of you all have heard someone say, you go to your family and friends, you say, what y'all think about this? And that person says, girl, I don't know. I don't think people would buy that. You say, okay, cool. Or they say, oh, you should do this. And you know what? Here's your question. Whenever somebody gives you some advice about your product, you know what you tell them? Cool, if I did that, would you buy it from me? And if they like, no, like, I don't care what you guys say. Go on over there. Go on, sit over there. Right? I'm serious. Let me give you a great example. Chantel, I did a whole speech in December or January about why we should stop selling our books for 99 cents on Kindle. Y'all remember that? Chantel, I showed a great example. The person that I showed was a guy named Nathan Barry. And Nathan offers a bunch of books and products. And we went to this page and we saw Nathan offers a book called Authority. And you could buy this book for, I think just the book alone is $40. This was my example, right? And then he sells a $199 version that comes with some video interviews and some video tutorials on top of the book. And then he sells a $500 version that comes with a strategy session, right? So when Chantel came out with her book for $89, it wasn't $89. I always make that as a joke. I couldn't be a hypocrite and not buy it because I taught her to do it. Do you see what I mean? I couldn't be, I was surprised. I'm like, oh, shoot, she actually did what I said. I couldn't be a hypocrite and not buy it because I gave her the advice. I couldn't be the person that's willing to advise but not support. I couldn't tell Bamba, dude, I think what you have could change people's lives if I wasn't willing to really be an amplifier of the voices of our speakers. Does that make sense? I couldn't tell somebody you can sell your product anywhere in the world. And when they bring it up on the call, I'm like, well, I can prove to you, because I don't live in the same country as you. Send me the link, I'll buy it. We gotta get in this world of practicing what we preach, but also selling to people or taking advice from people that's willing to support us. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Because we get a lot of negative feedback from people that ain't really pushing what we pulling or whatever. They ain't supporting what we pushing. So let me come back to this. Here's how you do it. Dr. Gibson, I'm going to help you. And I don't know, how do you find your clients right now?
So
She's
far,
still
it's been through word of mouth or with organizations that I have worked with before, and they tell other people, and so on and so on and so on.
Okay. Do you have any control over how many referrals you get?
I do not.
Okay. Would you like to?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to help you. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to help you. Right? Kevin, question?
Yes, so I'm curious about the book price. So explain to me the logic of the book price, because I'm missing it somehow. So are you saying we should make it high price for the perceived value? Or you say, what are you saying about the book? I'm missing it.
Okay. Do you think if I launched a book called Speaker Launch Formula, that the stuff that's in there, you would make more than 99 cents?
Yes.
Do you think you would make more than $19?
That if I got your book and followed the principles,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay. Right. Do you think you would make more than $100?
yes,
Okay. Do you think you would make maybe $1,000?
yes.
Yeah. There are $1,000 books, guys.
Yeah.
There are. Right.
I
No.
I've seen them at Harvard Business School, but not anywhere else.
But I mean, if you ever been to college, you done paid $600 for a textbook before. And we don't complain about it because the context is that textbook should cost this. The context is that Kindle book should cost this. The context is that an app on your phone should be free, which is why we don't have a SpeakerHub app. Because I ain't giving you SpeakerHub for free. I don't want you thinking about it being free. Do you see what I mean? Like certain context gives us this should only cost this. This should only cost this. This should only cost this. An app on your phone, 99 cents or free. Something you buy on a website, pay monthly, $7 to $100. Something I'm using for my business, $7 to $300. If I got a bigger business, I spend thousands of dollars on monthly recurring fees to support the servers for SpeakerHub. You see what I mean? Like we have this concept that a server should cost more than a book. Or consulting. You would pay me more, Kevin, to fly to where you are and read the book to you than what you would pay for the book, even though it's the same information. Only thing is just a different expression of the information. Does that make sense? What's the difference between a 17-minute TED Talk on a topic, a 200-page book on the topic, a 1 weekend consulting on the topic, a monthly coaching plan on the same topic? It's the same stuff. You're just experiencing it in a different way. Does that make sense? So the value of your book is established by who? You. Again, I don't want 99 cents associated with Ron. So I ain't selling a 99-cent book. And then when Amazon sell that book, Amazon's customer, they're not mine. Amazon ain't giving me the people's email addresses. But when I go here to Nathan's page and I go to buy this book, look what he's doing. I put who's collecting the email address? Who's this going to? Is this going to Amazon or to Nathan? You see it? This is his. It's on his site. When we introduce the ability for you to sell your books, courses, and coaching on SpeakerHub next month, we will give you your customers' information. We will not hold it like Amazon. We will not take 50% like Amazon if it's over a certain price. Is this making sense? Right? You can't build a business if you don't know who bought your book. People sold thousands of books and don't even know who the customers are. Only people who made more money off of it is Amazon offering them a Prime subscription. Right? Daron, go ahead. Is this making sense? Is this helpful? Kevin, Dr. Gibson, Jasmine, you got to own your customer list.
So I guess it's kind of piggyback question off of what Kevin said. As you beginning in the eversion aspect where I am, how do you determine your value of what you're offering, man, when you're limited in sales? As far as, yeah, I'm doing a lot of free things and people tell me they're getting value from it, but I haven't found more people that want to pay for it. And then obviously it's a change in mindset, not thinking like myself, but thinking more like a customer. But you guys know exactly where I am in this business. So how do you determine that value, man, so that you can attract those customers and have those confident conversations and within the sales funnel?
Okay. What are you trying to sell?
I am selling workshops, and you talking about physical things or what?
What are you selling?
I don't understand that question, Ron. That's a general question.
I know. That's the reason why I asked it. A lot of times we're selling an app. A lot of times we're selling a book. A lot of times we're selling software. But in reality, we're transforming people's lives. And we don't sell the transformation. right? There's a transactional thing like this. We already know the value of it. $100. If I told you these headphones was worth, you had to buy them from me for $8,000, would you buy them? Darren?
No, I'm not buying
Okay. This is an iPhone 13. It's been in a case for the last 4 years. I've owned it. Still brand spanking new on the outside. No scratches. Got a protective case on it. If I were to go buy this at the store, how much is it worth? $300? Because they're on iPhone 19 now.
it.
This is old. Maybe $400, brand new in the box. This used. So $300, right? How much did you pay me for it, Darren?
I'm sorry, I'm at school, man.
Huh?
I was letting the
Darren?
bell ring. I was in class. I was letting the bell ring.
Okay.
I wouldn't pay you
Yeah,
for
we
that,
can-
man.
How much did you pay me for my phone?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Anybody would buy my phone from me? Anybody want, it's for sale right now.
Not if it's an iPhone.
Okay.
Hey.
Put in the chat what you would buy this phone for me from. How much did you pay me? It's brand new. This joint shining. Let me shine it up. Make it even more. Look at that. It's glistening. Bling bling on y'all. Who would buy this? Let's see.
That's not a bling one. I'll buy it for $50.
$50. AJ said 10K. Holy smokes.
Right. I'm like, I like
Right.
my iPhone, but okay. I would buy it.
How much? How much did you put in? How much did you buy for it?
Oh, I would say 500.
500.
That's
Right?
Mhm.
Anybody else? We got
Would-
500. We got 9. buying a
no,
stupid
not good
old
security.
iPhone. Huh?
what do you,
He
what do
said
you, what do you
Samsung.
have in that iPhone? Are you going to give me all your information in the
Last
iPhone?
lunch.
Everything in it?
Okay.
All your contacts?
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Let's see. I got on this iPhone right now. So we established a value. So let's 500, 0, 10,000. Right? So
I have a clarifying
on
question.
hold on for a second. I got you. Just roll with me. On here, I got 319 Audible books at $13 a piece. That's already worth $4,500 worth of Audible books. Right?
That is a fact.
And then I got in my phone emails, I got a lot of emails. And then my Zelle and my checking account on here. You know, and I got
All right, 30K. I give up. Like, yeah, you got so
Price
much in
went up.
there.
If your checking account is
look,
in
look
it,
at this. You see what
It's
happened?
it's the data. It's the data.
Look. See, yeah, but most of y'all selling y'all products as iPhones.
Facts. You're right.
You bought the transformation that you imagined you would make if you had my iPhone.
How do you preaching, man? Stop it.
You bought the transformation. You said, look, if I get these, I know who he knows. If I get these 3,200 contacts, I probably could sell something.
And the best part though, maybe you can send from your email and be like, I was trained under Ron Storage.
Yeah, but you see the transformation. She's imagining what she could do with the thing that was once a commodity that was 3 years old, $500. Nobody wanted it because it was made by Apple. That's what you all are selling most of the time. The actual thing.
Apple.
Right?
People over here tripping about Apple. Apple is great. Security is tight.
Right? So
Samsung.
I remember, let me go back. Watch this. Let me show you something. I know a guy who didn't understand his worth and his value at one point. Right? This guy, when he first started off 5 years ago, before it was called PitchDB, we called it Stage Pictures. See, I lived this. I ain't telling y'all some crap I ain't lived. I built this damn business off that survey. Right? See, y'all don't know that. Y'all be thinking, oh, you just, no. Like, I ain't your other coach who ain't ever done nothing. I built the business, edited 5 years ago. You want to see what I was asking people 5 years ago? Hey, can you complete this survey? Nice to meet you. Do you have a website? No. Would you like us to build one for you? Do you offer a product or service? Okay, what do you sell? Have you published a book? Yes or no? No. Would you like us to publish one for you? Would you have a podcast? Yes or no? No. Would you like us to help you create one? What type of media you be in? How do you currently get booked? What are the demographics? What type of stage would you like to appear on to share your message? You got a media kit? No. Would would you like us to create one for you? How much money are you investing in growing your speaking business? What do you currently charge for a speak? If you got access to PitchDB, what would be your expected outcomes from a software partner? Now, that was the first one, first version that we did. I did 14, and then I did 40, and then I did 300. We ain't even selling the product yet. Same questions, no sales, just asking the questions. Right? Would you like to skip the line? I had 17,000 people on the list that I was emailing. And I asked these same questions. But guess what I learned really quickly? I could go to the data, right? And I could look and say, okay, tell me something about this group of people. Give me the analytics. Let me see if it has the reports here. Okay, what did they do to this screen? This is stupid. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Do you have a website? I found out that 75% of our people had a website. 25% of them didn't. And I asked them, okay, would you like us to build one? Whoa, 27 of them said, yeah, I'll pay you to build me a website. They told me the products. Do you offer other products and services? They told me have you published a book? Yes. 181 said no. Would you like us to help you publish a book? 93 of them said yes. Do you see how this, I ain't guessing on what our people want. Is this valuable to see this? This is why you're here today, that survey from 5 years ago. Because now I ain't gotta guess. I can just ask y'all. Is that helpful or no? So now let me show you the one that you should be using. I got some time today. My next meeting ain't until 12:30. So I got 30 minutes and I'm gonna walk through this. So that's the survey. I got a question
for you, Ron.
Huh?
On the survey, when do you implement this into the conversations or meetings, or are you just sending this out to the people? Like what part of the process, man, do you implement that?
At the beginning, call them on the phone. You read it right from the beginning. I'm going to show you. Right? I wasn't showing this to people. I was doing it in front of them on Zoom. Like, ain't no shortcuts. AJ will tell you, I will hop on a call with anybody at any time, no matter what. I've done 187 sales meetings since March 1st.
So I'm asking, like, I don't have a problem doing that part too, man, but there's somewhere I'm missing with. Okay, all right. I got go talk to anybody. I go talk to people all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Well, let me show you. So here's what you do. You take out your phone and you write whatever you do in one line. You remember we've been talking about writing what you do in one line? Right? So that's my one line. So I would hit somebody up on text message or on the phone. Hey, I help entrepreneurs to get booked for paid speaking gigs, podcast interviews, and press coverage so that they can get more clients without having to dance on TikTok. Over the next month, I'm completing a survey of 200 people to learn more about the problems they face. Would you be willing to give me 6 to 7 minutes to answer a few questions? At the end of the survey, I will share the results with you and everybody else who helps me. Does that make sense? Am I trying to sell them something? No. Do they need to be afraid that I'm going to say, this ain't a multi-level marketing pitch? I'm not trying to get them to do prepaid legal. They ain't got to be scared. I told them what it is. If they say, yeah, man, I would love to do it. Cool, set up the meeting. If they can do it right then and there, you say, look, hey, man, AJ, before I make this decision, to start working with coaches like you, I would appreciate hearing your thoughts about, the coaching industry and what you think about me working with them. Right? I just want to ask you a few questions about your personal experiences with people who sell coaching or advice to your industry. Is that cool? Right? And then you put their name and information in there where you got the lead. You don't show this on the Zoom. On the Zoom, it looks like this. Hey, AJ, dude, man, as I mentioned, I'm trying to get these 200 surveys completed. I would love to get your opinion about working with coaches that have helped you to generate leads and to improve your closing rate, sales coaches. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool. Let's do it.
There it is. You see, we just get into it. Right? Now, I don't share the screen, but I read what's on the screen. So I know it's AJ, so I just go ahead and fill this out ahead of time. And then the lead source is, I will put in Facebook friend or something. Make sense? So I know where I'm getting my people from. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to use Dr. Gibson as the example today because I promised her I would help her to get more leads. You ready? Okay. Let's go up to the top. Dr. Gibson, what do you do in one sentence? Tell me what it is.
I provide organizational development strategies to help businesses perform and transform into better services.
Is that correct? Did I miss something?
Organization help businesses to transform. The businesses to transform
Uh-huh.
cultural transformation to create higher performances and efficiencies.
Okay, where do I put that at?
Organizational development strategies to assist businesses to transform their cultures for organization efficiency.
Transform their cultures into what?
For organizational efficiencies.
She got all the words I can't spell. Good Lord. I'm like, where's the squiggly line? I can't spell this word. All right, so let's do it. You ready?
Mhm.
I got an organization. We got 24 full-time employees. We got 18 contractors we work with. You're going to do the survey on me. You ready?
Okay.
So there's the screen.
So Ron, tell me, your name is Ron Story, right?
Nope, at the top.
At the top. So Ron,
Yep.
I provide a service and I like going in and working with companies and helping them transform their businesses from a cultural aspect. And we go in, we look at our businesses and we do a real needs analysis. So over the next month, I'm collecting surveys of about 200 people because I want to learn about the problems that they face within their businesses. Are you willing to give me 6 to 7 minutes to answer a few questions? And at the end of the survey, what I'm going to do is compile all of that data and send the results to anyone who has helped me with this.
Okay, that was good. That's a 7 out of 10. Let me tell you how to make it a 10 out of 10. Read it right off the daggone screen.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Because if you say the same thing to everybody and people tell you no, you said something wrong. But if you say something different every time, you don't know where you're going wrong or where you're turning people off because you're not saying the same thing consistency. Does that make sense? So when you do it for yourself, write what you want to say and say the same thing to everybody. That way you can judge whether it's working or not. But if I'm saying something similar and it's not the same thing, I can't judge if it's working. Is that fair? Yes or no? No?
Yes.
Okay, so let's
I'm
go
trying to
from the
write it.
top and let's just read this for now. You can always adjust it on your own, but we gotta read what's on the screen. That's a fundamental reason why these things take 30 minutes, because we ask questions that get people to talk about stuff that ain't relevant. And just laughing because Ed spent 45 minutes doing these interviews and it was supposed to take 6 minutes. Let me stop. Edge, go ahead. Go. I ain't throwing you under the bus, but go ahead. Edge's been through this.
It's true. I have a tendency to add a little bit after every answer to affirm what the person said, to go off on a tangent occasionally. So yes, stick to the script. It definitely helps.
Right? Because we're not selling. She said we do needs analysis. No, that's a sales question. Don't say that, Dr. Meg. I heard that. I'm like selling, alarm going off right off the bat. I don't need no needs analysis. I don't need nothing. They don't know what they need. Is this fair? I'm not picking on you. Let me give you a hug because I know I'm
I'm
gonna get some
good.
emails from somebody on YouTube saying he was picking on her. She didn't know.
Uh-oh, I mean, look,
I have
they
tough
don't know
skin,
what happened, right?
Listen, I've never lived in a. You have great tough skin, but I've never met a world like today where everybody else is a victim for everybody else. Like, dude, I wasn't even talking to you, but yet you complaining more than what she complained. She said she got tough skin, but your feelings hurt. Get up out of here. Go on over there. Go on over there. Okay. All right. So let's go back to it. Dr. Meg, you're amazing. I appreciate you helping us with this. So let's go through it from the top.
So Ron, I provide organizational development strategies to assist businesses to transform their cultures for organizational efficiencies. Over the next month, I'll be completing a survey of 200 people to learn more about the problems they face. Would you be willing to give me 6 or 7 minutes to answer a few questions? At the end of the survey, I'll share the results with you and anyone else who helps me.
Wasn't that so much better? I mean, it was straight and she was calm, she was confident, she didn't have to think about that was incredible. High five. Okay. Yes, I'm willing to give you the 7 minutes.
Okay. And then I go from the italicized right underneath.
Right there. So now I agreed to it. You send me your calendar link or whatever. Or I say, yeah, we can do it now. Right. So let's just say I said we could do it now. You didn't have to send me a calendar.
Okay. And then I start what I like to begin by asking you a few questions about your personal experiences with
No,
people.
right above that.
Okay. Before I make this decision, I would appreciate hearing your thoughts about the industry and what you think about my joining it. I'd like to begin by asking you a few questions about your personal experiences with people who sell coaching and other advice-based products.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. What do you need from me?
Let's start off simple. First, I need your full name
Okay. So I typed that in.
and your occupation
Okay. I typed that in.
and your telephone number.
Cool.
I'll put today's date in there.
Yep. So this is what you would be filling in. So
Mhm.
they'll never see this. You're just gonna be like, let me make sure I got your full name so I know the survey responses because I get a lot of people named AJ, right? So I got AJ Vassar. And where do you work at again? And your phone number. And then you just put today's date and then you put the lead source yourself. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Okay.
Right? Because we already know the date. We don't need to ask them that. And the lead source is where you found them. Was this a referral from Daron? Was this somebody that was already in my phone? Was this a past coworker? Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
All right, cool. So now we got that in. Let's roll.
Okay. So Ron, first tell me about your experiences with the coaching industry.
I think coaching is probably the things that have helped me out the most. Even from when I was a kid, I had coaches since I was 5 years old when I played baseball. My dad was my first coach. And I didn't realize the value of it until I went and played with kids who had never played before. Since I was on my dad's team when I was 5 and everybody else was 7, when I got around other 5-year-olds, I was way ahead of them. So coaching has always been a part of my life.
Okay, thank you. What do you think a coach should do for you?
I think a coach should share the experiences that they've already lived and the lessons they've already learned so that I can avoid them.
Ooh, okay. So in
She was about
regards,
to go, Angela. You said, "Ooh, that was good."
I,
She
I,
was about to do it. Y'all saw it?
stopped it.
Y'all hear that?
I said, oh, I got you, Angela. I'm not gonna let him do this to us. In regards to previous contacts with coaches, what have they done that you like the most?
Accountability.
Okay.
I got a coach because I didn't need a teacher. I got a coach because I needed to get the most out. I needed him to see in me what I didn't see in myself, right? What I liked the least was the ones who had theory. They had never really did it, but they was giving me advice. I'm like, dude, come on.
Okay. All right. Number 4, who do you primarily rely on for coaching? And how did you select that person? How did you choose that person?
So right now, in regards to business efficiency, I don't work with anybody. I've never met anyone that does what you do. So I don't have a coach in that area.
Okay. All right. So when you think about your business, what is the area you wish you had for coaching?
Oh man, I'm looking for a coach right now for all of our management team at SpeakerHub. So we're in conversations looking for someone that can coach the CTO, that can coach operations, and that can be an executive coach for me.
Okay. What's your approach to solving this currently?
Looking at my phone and looking who I know who are ahead of me and reaching out to them, asking if they will either coach me or they would mentor me in some way.
You touched on this a little bit, but how do you feel about those people?
Oh man, I mean, I don't feel bad. I just don't think it's their job. So a lot of them probably will tell me no because they have other businesses to run and I won't get their full attention. They would just be kind of providing me perspective. So I like them. I just don't think that it'll solve the problem.
How often do you think about the problem?
Every day at IT meetings, I'll be like, man, we got to get better. These are my real answers, by the way, but go ahead.
I could tell. Okay. If I were to decide to pursue this career, what might be the best way to approach people in your profession? And
Mm,
how would one not want to approach them?
I mean, I don't answer my phone when people call me, so they probably don't want to cold call me. I think an email with like a link to a podcast or a YouTube video that where they're talking about the topic that they're best at would be cool. I get cold email by people all the time with emails like that, and I don't realize I never even subscribed to their stuff. But I went and looked at it, I'm like, oh man, this would be dope. And I'm like, I don't even know this dude. But he didn't send it as a normal cold email. So I would prefer that they email me with proof that they know what they're talking about.
Okay. And what are the typical ways in which you communicate with others in your profession?
Zoom,
Communication,
email.
networks, doing all of that through emails?
Yep.
Okay. When would be the best time to reach someone in your organization? What's the best time and location for appointments? And give me a reason why.
Well, I mean, throughout the day is probably the best time, Monday through Saturday. I'm willing to do appointments. Because I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I work all the time. So if it's going to help push the business forward, I'll meet with you on Sunday at 2 a.m. If you got an answer to my problem, depending on how big of a problem you're solving, I'm always looking to try to get ahead.
Okay. So if you were in my shoes and made the decision to enter this business, what product would you be offering yourself?
Definitely executive coaching for our CTO, our head of operations, and for me as the chief revenue officer.
And how would you go about marketing to people like you?
Yep. Like I said, I would, you know, either ask for introductions from people that knew me or send me relevant proof. Like I get a lot of emails with people offering to sell me something, but they never give me proof. Like one guy told me he could triple our monthly recurring revenue in 90 days guaranteed. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know what my revenue is. And if you could do that, why are you calling me? Why aren't you calling Amazon and trying to triple theirs? You would make more money over there. So, email me with relevant proof and be honest.
If someone could get, if someone can get you to your outcome, what would you pay?
I mean, right now we got a contract we're looking to pay anywhere from 10 to 20,000 a month just for coaching.
And what is the outcome?
Oh, we got to grow this company. We're trying to get to a certain revenue number by a certain date. And we need our team and our tools to be able to withstand that, that number of customers.
Okay, and in the time horizon, you said by a certain date. Could you
Yeah, we'll
explain
have
that?
this coach in April. We making
Okay.
a decision in the next 30 days.
Okay, good. So just follow up, what do you think about the survey?
Oh, it was cool. I ain't never thought about this. As an entrepreneur, we kind of struggle with these things in private. You really got me to thinking about the things that keep me up and, you know, how important it is for me to get to where I'm going. I appreciate it. It got me thinking.
If I do decide to go to do this, would you have any objection to discussing your situation with me sometime in the future?
No, I mean, if you can solve one of the issues I'm talking about, hit me up.
So one final question. Would you be willing to help me complete the survey by suggesting a few people of whom I might ask the same questions to?
Yeah, actually, I could probably bring you onto my onto our daily call, and you can, get some introductions to different people and just kind of introduce yourself about what you do. And then those people on the call, they probably would be willing to do the survey. You can mention that you're doing the survey when you do your intro.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you and all of the work and all the names that you have given me. I know I will reach out to Bonnie and Angela and Jasmine and AJ and all the good people here. And I'll send them emails and set up some time with them.
Perfect. Anything else you need from me?
No, but I want to come and let you hear me and see if I could come help your team.
Okay.
Shameless plug.
Perfect. Right. So now that's the cool thing. The only thing I wouldn't do the pitch at the end. That
Right.
last little line, it goes back into selling, and you don't want to turn them off because now they don't want you calling their people
Understood.
and pitching them on the slide. Right. But
No, just a
but-
joke.
no, I got it. I'm just want to make sure because some people misunderstand it and they'll slide that in. Right. So I'm just very cut and dry with this thing because I know it works. Now, you notice that didn't take her 30 minutes.
I have one quick question though, because that's if we're on the phone one-on-one. Do you recommend doing the survey and emailing the survey and having them complete it?
Can I buy your services via email and never talk to you?
I wouldn't want that to happen.
Okay.
There's a product you could buy and never
No.
talk.
Can I buy your services via email and never talk to you and deliver them? And you
No.
can deliver them via email. Okay.
No.
The survey is them trying you out, guys.
Okay.
You're showing you know how to listen. You're showing you're confident. You're showing you have direction. You're showing you're not going to talk over them. You're showing, it's a demonstration of your skills. They're looking for a coach. I just said, Doug, this was great. I never even thought about this. You ain't even gave me any advice, and I was complimenting you on questions I wrote for myself. That's my survey.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Now, how many of y'all believe you can't do that? Exactly. It's 10 minutes. Was there any sales pressure? Did she have to know anything? Right? How did you feel? If you answered those questions, you're like, oh, this is simple. And they go in and in and in. Now, did I tell her what products I was willing to buy? Yeah, executive coaching for my CTO, my operations, and myself. Did I tell her how soon I wanted it? Yeah, in April. Right? Did I tell her how much I was willing to pay? Yeah. 10 to 20. Did I tell her that she could call me back if she thought that she had a solution to any of these problems? So what I got to try to sell now for? I got a chance to come back. I don't need to close on the first date. I'm getting married. Right? Does this make sense? That's all that selling is. All you're doing is collecting grenades that you're going to throw back in the future. Right? But if you don't collect the grenades, you have no ammunition. Right? So one of the best parts of this that's most important and why I tell people don't just read, like don't skip, just read what's on the thing. If she doesn't ask me this, she gets no referrals. Right? What did you think about the survey? I need them to confess out of their mouth that I didn't try to sell them anything, that I wasn't pushy, and that it was a good experience. If they don't say that, and I just skip to, oh, this was great. Hey, yo, I told you I was trying to do 200. Can you just tell me some other folks I could ask these same questions to? They're like, nah, because they haven't been reminded how good of an experience it was. Now, why is the second question if I decide to do this? Because not only did I say the survey was great, but it was great enough for me to want to meet with you again in the future. This is my future sales appointment. If I don't do this, I don't have a chance to come back. Now I got permission to come back and present the data. Now, what do you think I'm going to do in that next sales meeting? I'm bringing up that survey report. Hey, here's what's happening with other executives just like you. They're struggling with this too. They're struggling with that. Here's what we found. 40% want this. 30% want that. And they're like, oh man, yeah, I could be better than them. If everybody's struggling, I definitely need this because I can beat them.
So Ron, real quick.
Yep. Is this helpful? One second. Is this helpful? Okay, go ahead.
So can the email be, I'd like to have
No
you-
email.
Nope. Just an introduction to
No
schedule.
email.
So how do you get to the, I don't know you, but I want you to complete the survey?
Okay. You got this thing right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Open it up.
On my contact.
Open it up, right?
Okay.
And when you open it up, go to contacts. Oh shoot, I missed my call. Dang it. She's gonna punch me in the nose. Go to contacts, right? And in the contacts, how many people you got all the way at the bottom? Scroll all the way to the bottom, tell you your number of contacts.
945.
All right. Do you have 5 of them in there that you can contact that are in your target audience?
Yes.
Okay. That's where you start. Call those 5.
Okay.
And those 5 are going to give you 5, which will push you up to 30. You have 5 complete and 25 referrals. Those 30 will give you another 5, which gives you 150.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the 30 you already did, which puts you at 180.
Okay.
If you had 180 contacts, 180 potential leads, do you think you could find the 5 to 10 clients you need to easily replace the revenue from your job that you're retiring from on Monday?
Most definitely.
Yeah. No Facebook ads, no TikToks. You gotta do none of that. You ain't gotta do none of that. All you gotta do is ask these daggone questions. All right, Bonnie.
Okay, I listened very, very carefully to you and Dr. Meg through that whole thing. And I am always the kid in the back of the classroom who pokes the kid next to me and goes, wait, how do we start? So I just want to clarify. You open your phone, you go to your contacts. Your initial contact with any of these people is a call, not an email, correct?
You can text them. Hey, Bonnie, what's up? Bonnie replies, hey, as you know, I help entrepreneurs to do blah, blah, blah. Over the next month, I'm trying to do a survey. Would you be
Okay.
willing to help me?
Okay, so your initial is an email or a text if you're on your phone, obviously.
If you don't have
Okay.
any people in your phone, because I know somebody gonna say, "Well, I ain't got no people in my phone."
I get people on my phone. I do.
I'm talking to the people on YouTube.
Right. No, I understand. I
So
totally
wait,
understand.
hold on. So if you don't have people in your phone, go into your LinkedIn.
Mhm.
See this in LinkedIn? Look, guess what I did? I sent them the same thing. Hey, we're both in the same LinkedIn group. I would love your expert feedback on a project I'm working on. Same thing into the same survey. That's where you saw those 300 came from here.
Yep.
I mean, I did a gang of them. I'm go way back. So I don't want to, oh man, dude, I've been living this, bro.
Okay.
Not-
So then, yes, okay, I understand. Thank you. And LinkedIn will be a great help to me to do this. And the entire survey itself is done over the phone, and we are recording the answers to their questions
It's
for
over Zoom.
ourselves.
Over Zoom.
Over Zoom. Okay, better.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Over Zoom, you can see them.
Right.
You can see them searching for the answer. You can see the pain on their face. You can see the emotional response. You can see if they occupied doing something else. Cool. If you occupied doing something else, I don't want you as a client because you ain't coachable. The
Hey, there
minute
you
I hop
go.
on a call and I see somebody walking, I'm like, yo, let's just set this up another time. Right?
Yeah.
I get on a call and 13 things, they doing this, what? I'm like, hey, yo, man, you need me to call you back? I want to be respectful of you. Let me just go and get up off of here. I'm going to go do something else. Right?
Yep.
Make
Yep. I
sense?
totally hear you. Oh my gosh. Never mind. I'll forget it. Thank you.
No. Oh, your gosh, what? You like my shirt? That's what it is. Oh my
It's
gosh,
your
that's
it's your
such a great-
shirt. No, a million years ago, when dating was put a code number in a newspaper and get on a phone call. I connected with a guy on the phone, and he was busy watching a movie on his first call with me, and I'm like, "Yo, have a nice day. I don't think
That's
you're for
it.
me."
That's it. Single black male, 35 in East St. Louis. That used to be my ad. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. That was a great movie called Single White Female. I remember that, and that lady was crazy. But
Yeah.
I'm making myself feel old right now. Daron, what's up? We got 4 minutes
Yeah.
before I have to hop off.
That's a good movie, by the way. It's crazy, but good.
Daron, what
My
up?
question. So look, I was thinking about leveraging. I've started something called Why Wait Wednesday to the community of people in my CRM. Right? Would you suggest that would be a good leverage?
I think you should ask these questions to anybody that's in your target audience or an audience that you want to work with. Why? Because what you're going to find out is whether they're willing to make the pain go away. You may think you want to work with teachers until you talk to a bunch of them and you see they really don't have the problem you're talking about. So you may have to change the problem that you're solving. See, I'm a firm believer that you can dig a well or you can put a bucket in the stream. Most of us are trying to dig wells. What I mean by that is the problem hasn't been confessed, so we're trying to invent one, right? What I'm saying is go see what people already wasted money on and just put your bucket in that stream and get them to divert some of the money they spending on other stuff to you, right? So one of the reasons why we're making the transition over to speak to sell instead of speak to get paid to speak, right? The reason being is that the people who get paid to speak don't have a marketing budget. They have a job. So they don't have allocated money for marketing tools like SpeakerHub. They want the speaker angels to sprinkle money on them while they still have a job. Entrepreneurs already have a marketing budget. So all I'm saying is, hey, you're spending $2,000 a month on Facebook and ain't getting them from your TikToks. Direct some of that 200 or 300 of that over to us, and we'll get you on some podcasts where you'll actually get some leads and some other things. You'll get some results from what you're doing. Does that make sense? So instead of me digging a well and trying to help speakers who've never marketed, never run a business, find a marketing budget for the first time with no customers, I prefer to work with the business owners and make them speakers. Because they understand, oh, I got to market anyway, so I got to have a budget. What's up, Ange?
A number of people have asked for the survey.
Yep.
Will you put that link in there? And then you all can also watch the video from that day as well. I think it was Friday. And
Yeah, they can watch the one
because the
from
link
today.
that Ron, yeah, you can watch, yeah, today as well. The link that Ron's going to send isn't to a template, it's to the actual survey that he has
Yeah.
used. So
You
you
got to
have
write
to
your
go
own
through it.
questions. I could
Yeah.
give you the one that's editable, but then you wouldn't do any work. Just like I'm not coming to tuck you in at your house, build your own survey. That's why nobody did it. I gave it to y'all last week, and I said y'all gonna have homework before we allow commenting, right? And
I
then
did
nobody
it. I did it. I just didn't finish my homework, teacher. I just didn't finish it.
It's still an F. You may as well not done it.
The dog ate it.
It's still an F.
My
Right?
child.
You know, it's still an F. You and Bruno Mars, right? So, any is this helpful? Was this helpful? Right? Okay. Homework. How many of you all believe that you cannot get 5 of these done by tomorrow?
So Ron, to accomplish that, we're going to our phone contacts or the LinkedIn contacts. Is that
Phone,
correct?
contact, phone, LinkedIn, Instagram,
I thought we had actually
talk with
set a
people.
real appointment.
Just people that you can talk with that can answer the questions that you would want as a client.
Okay.
If you wouldn't want them as a client, why are you asking them their opinion?
Okay.
Does that make sense? We don't need the opinions of people who don't buy from us. Good to see you. Let me see who I have here. Is this James? James Martin? I can't hear you, James.
How about now?
James, how's it going?
Going good. How are you, Ron?
I'm doing well. I want to introduce you to my gang of friends. I know our meeting starts in about 30 seconds ago. These are speakers I work with on a daily basis at SpeakerHub, helping them to get booked and paid for the knowledge that they have. And our meeting ran a little long, so I'll end the meeting. But before we do, introduce yourself to everyone. Tell us what you speak about and who you help.
Okay. I'm James Martin. I live in Enterprise, Alabama, which is South Alabama. I'm 70 miles due north of Panama City, Florida. I've farmed there all my life. We've milked cows. Currently, we grow peanuts, corn, cotton. I do a pretty good little bit with farm credit. I'm on a farm credit board. I've spoke at some meetings nationally with them, and just my children are gone and looking for a little bit of something else to do.
Okay, and you're gonna use speaking, or are you looking to get paid to speak, or are you looking to speak to get paid?
I'm looking to get paid to speak.
Okay, and do you have any other business outside of speaking?
I do I do the farm credit board. I do the electric co-op board. I'm also a realtor. While we still farm, I've got employees that do that. So we actually build some houses. We do a little bit of developing subdivisions and things like that. And I love to wake surf.
Okay, cool. No, that makes sense. Wake surf. All right, cool. That's incredible. Any other questions before I have to hop off to talk with James? Any questions for him from anybody here? James, anything you wanna ask anybody about getting booked more?
I'm good. Like I said, just sort of getting started in this. I think what you and I talk about will clear up a lot. But thank you.
Perfect. So, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow. When I asked how many of y'all couldn't get 5 surveys done, nobody raised their hand. So tomorrow, show your work. We're gonna now half of y'all not gonna show up tomorrow because you ain't gonna do the surveys. Come back tomorrow. Let's go through it because there's
I'll
a
see
next
you
step.
Thursday. I have a speaking engagement tomorrow.
Okay. Well, those who can make it tomorrow, high five on your speaking engagement. That's incredible. For those who can make it tomorrow, come back and I'm going to show you how you do the survey, the next step, which is what do you do with those leads? Right? All right, cool. All right, so see you all later. James, stay here. And I'll talk to everybody else tomorrow.